So we've been on this farm for about 2 years now. We've got cattle, sheep, goats, a few laying hens, and we do rotational grazing and pasture management. One of the biggest issues that we ran into is moving the animals is through this area right here. Moving the animals, moving equipment, those kind of things. This area doesn't qualify as a stream from the division of water standpoint, but this is what we're calling a stream crossing because whenever we have really heavy rainfall events, we'll have water that rushes through here, and there'll be a foot to 2 foot of water rolling through this area, and that presents an issue for moving animals during that time when that water is rolling through. It also presents an issue for several days or weeks after that because it's muddy. We don't want to, rut this area up any worse because this is the primary access to part of our farm. We also wanted to protect this area. Being as a surface water area, we want to try to prevent the nutrients and pollutants from being in this area. And so, to try and address all those issues, what we've decided to do is to put in a culvert and to build a stream crossing with that culvert. So we decided to go just up the channel a little bit because in that area, it's much more even on the sides, so there's not a drop off, there's not a slope on both sides like there is in this area. So we'll be able to install that culvert, build up on top of that culvert just a little bit, and have a fairly smooth transition from one side of the channel to the other side of the channel.
Showing this spot in action after a heavy over 3-inch rain. Where that electric fence is running is where we used to have to cross. So we were really eroding this stream bank, I guess you would say. It's not necessarily listed as a stream, but it does have water laying in it from time to time. So we were eroding that. Now with this culvert in place, this water is moving under this gravel pad, and it is working quite well. Lots of water moving this morning, and it is moving right under the road, going through the culvert, and we are not eroding and interfering with that water moving.
So in this area, we're installing another stream crossing. Although it's not technically a stream in this area, there's a lot of water that moves underground through sinkholes. And when we have really heavy rain events, we will have a little bit of surface runoff, a little bit of water running through this area, but it does get really wet, and traffic through here causes muddy messes. And so installing this stream crossing will help protect this area, make it more rigid for traffic with vehicles and with livestock. And so the process that we're installing this with is, first of all, removing the topsoil, removing the sod and the topsoil. We try to get down 4 to 6 inches minimum, and then we will roll out this geotextile reinforcement fabric. We will spread it over the entire area that's been excavated. We'll pin it down with landscaping pins, and I found that to be really important to do that, so that whenever the dump truck comes to spread the rock on it, that the fabric doesn't try to wrinkle and move out of place. So pin it with those landscaping pins, and then we will spread 6 to 8 inches of dense grade aggregate. Some people call it crusher run, it goes by different names, but it's basically a 3/4 inch rock and less, 3/4 minus, and that makes a really, really good solid surface. It'll allow a little bit of moisture to move through it, but it will protect that area, make it rigid and reinforced, so that as we traffic across it, we won't create muddy messes.
So this is upstream from the culvert, and this has water that moves through a lot underground, and then it only seems to move through on top of the ground whenever we have heavy rainfall. So after an over 3-inch rain, it's going to be moving above the ground. And this stream crossing in place allows us to have a solid base to drive over, and we're not interfering with messing with any of the water movement. The water is able to go straight over that gravel, and we're still provided a nice base to be able to drive over. And it is firm and still held in place well this morning after 3 inches.
As part of this project, we also installed several feet of fencing. The purpose of this fencing is to exclude the livestock from the riparian zone. As you can see, coming out of winter, we've got a lot of cover in this area where we have the intermittent streams, and where the livestock are at, we don't have as much vegetation. So this area is much better protected because of this fencing. We've been able to allow this vegetation to grow and create this filter and sponge to slow down water as it moves across the terrain, and it makes its way down into the stream.